All right. Once again, thank you everyone, and I hope you are enjoying your weekend. As we let quickly check the assignment yesterday, we have some people submitted the assignment and some people did not. So I can't say this is the reason, but I have Joy, Nathan, Nathan submitted his assignment, and I think I'm good. Very good one. Namdi Paul submitted assignment, and it was a good one. Yes, I went that after reviewing, I can see it was the person really understand all what the class is about. And Akinloye Tunlope also submitted, Cecilia submitted, Victoria submitted, Efong Blessing, Beatrice, Williams, Florence, Precious, and Amilika, and Beatrice also submitted, and Florence, Annie submitted, and Babangida also submitted. George, they also submitted his assignment. So as what I said yesterday, the assignment is not just for you to just do it, it's for you to know whether you really understand what you are taught yesterday. So let's quickly go to that and see what the assignment we had yesterday. Okay, we just asked some few questions, and some people are able to eventually deliver to that. Let me just open up the data set again as we. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. Let me open up that so we can quickly do the correction before the class starts. Just few minutes. Sorry. Okay. Fine. All right. Okay. So we're going to be looking at the assignment again for those that really don't understand what you are asked to do. So just kindly go with me as we look at this again. Okay. I would like to share my screen now. Okay, to look at that. Okay. Don't forget what we are told yesterday. Make sure you are looking at only the side that has been presented, not the other one, so you can understand, can clearly see what I'm displaying. Can we all see my screen now? If you can see, can I see your thumb up? Can we all see my screen? If you can see it, please can you kindly thumb up? Great, thank you, Favor. Thank you, Beatrice. I can see your hands up. Ibrahim, okay, great. All right, okay, let's look at that. So eventually, you said the same data, we have age group, we have marital status, we have education. So what I wanted us to do was, what we are asked to do is to first look at the data. When you look at the data, you know whether the data is clean or not, and then you know where you analyze. So let's look at the age group. Looking at this age group, okay, this is already clean. So the person Paul, yeah, was able to clean this. Also, let's look at the marital status. Yes, cleaned, and the education status cleaned. Fine. So, but the first thing we need to know, if there's a change in your data set, you need to tell us what happened. So yesterday we are told that first thing you need to do, check the data whether it's clean. Then the ones that is not, you have to what? If the one you found is not what you are expected, the variable you have, if it's not what you expected, then you need to replace. Okay, if it's theta will tell you replace. So you replace. And also in Excel, you can also replace. There's a function called Control F. So replace, you find and replace. Okay, and when you look at the age group, the data set you have 34, 67, 76, and 5GRGNJN, which is this. So you look at this note. So there is 4 data that is not the desired data set. So, and this was replaced. Okay, look at this. There's an assumption that 67, 76, and these They are not rightly placed and should not be categorized. So this was categorized back to what we have. So what we have is 18 to 25, 26 to 35, 36 to 45, sorry, 26 to 35, 36 to 45, and 45 upward. So what we are asked to use, or what is well, very easy for us to use, is the count if. And the count if, we are told that you pick your range and also you pick the criteria. So when you pick your range, that will tell you where you want to pick your value from. So the range will tell us where your value is coming from, and the criteria will tell you the main thing you really want to pick. Okay, so with that, we make sure that we have an absolute value of the range 82 to A401, and these, and closing that, give us what we have here. So eventually we have 114 for 18 to 25. We have 117 to 24 days. We have 98 for 36 to 45, and we have from 41 upward. 45 upward, we have this. So this is the best way to do that. And for the percentage, you are told you divide the frequency of this age by the total number. So that will give you the percentage, and you put it in your percentage. That will give you what you're supposed to have. So fine. This also will give us a quick visualization of what you need to have here. A quick visualization of what you need to have. So that's, now look at, that is the same thing we're going to do for marital status. So there are some data. Look at this. So we found that there are 4 data that did not match with the desired data set. So what are they? We have CAZ, we have CZ, we have GHI, and school. So we need to place it to what we should have. So what we have here is married, single, and never married. Married, single, and never married. So what you need to do is that you need to make sure that this data set, because if you don't replace it well, your total number will not be equals to 400. For some of us that submitted, if you check, you find out that some of your values is not up to 400. Victoria, you can check again. You didn't clean very well, so your total was not correct. So you can clean it, and when you clean it and change the value, you get the total to be 400. Okay, and then after doing that, you know that now you can use your count if to find out the value. When you find out the value of the non-married, then you also find the single and never married. Then after that, we'll do your percentage. Verbally, we can see accurately that the highest percentage here is married. 54% married. Okay, then after the same thing we do here for education status. Okay, for education status, we are going to also look at this and find out whether we have some numbers, some variables that are not. So we found out there are 3 data, and 1 data set of these are not found as a desired data. So what you need to do is to replace it. So we have the non-primary, we have secondary, GCE, we have tertiary, and postgraduate. So when you replace them accurately, you have the total number to give you 400, and we also find the percentage. So this is the way eventually going to see. If you look at this, you find that this is a very good one from one of us yesterday. So I tried to make sure that I make use of this, because some of us, we can see that somebody was listening and the person listening very well. Others, you tried, you can clap for yourself. And the best way to also learn more is to try more. So we all tried. I just make use of this. I said that Nathan, you tried, and others, even the people that got it right and did not, everyone tried. And what I need to clear here is this: when you are making use of Excel function, you don't use hard-coded numbers. And someone also sending PDF file. Please don't send PDF file. Florence, please send your Excel back to us, send Excel back to us, not PDF. We cannot check that PDF. So, and for another person that is used, I don't know what is used, maybe use calculator or something. Please don't use calculator. When we are making use of Excel, we make use of Excel functions. So Excel functions is, if even when you are making your calculator, we cannot check whether it's correct or not. But for this, we can eventually see where you are picking your range from and the criteria. So thank you, everyone. Clap for yourself and be ready for this class today. It's going to be an awesome one. I will stop sharing. I will stop sharing now. By 8 o'clock, we are going to start our class fully. And don't forget, today we are going to be looking at functions like if, or, and other things like match, index match, and VLOOKUPs and all that. These are a very good extensive function for a data analyst to know. Thank you, and we meet in the class by 8 o'clock. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Henry. Um, Thank you all for joining on time. As usual, you all are amazing. We'll see you by 8 p.m. at the dot. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We will welcome to this class again, and I am very sure that we are going to be enjoying this class as we did yesterday. So today is going to be a very um direct as we promise, and we okay, sorry, okay. We are going to be looking at different things today apart from what we did yesterday. Please, let's get we have done a review for the class, and for others that didn't submit, please today try to submit, do something. And please, some of us, I found out don't use try something, just try something, and eventually you don't even know how powerful your thoughts will be when you try that and you find out that you get it right. Okay, I'm sharing my screen now, and today we are going to be looking at very good functions to analyze your data. So we are going to be starting with if function. Then after we go to if function, we'll do our if and function. After the if and function, and we look at if or function. If or function. Then after that, we look at VLOOK function. And then we look at index and match. So after the VLOOK function, we also have X and HLOOK function. But my system now does not have that, because I don't have 365 anymore in my system. So I have only Microsoft 2016. 2016, I don't have X function. So for others that are using 365, you have X function. But presently, I don't have X function. I have VLOOK, and we are going to make use of that. So if you are ready, can I see your pump? Can you just pump up? If you are ready for this class, can you go? Can you go, please? Let's go. Femi, I can see you. Great. I can see, yes, Jane, I can see you. Pump up. George, great. Okay, fine. This name I can't pronounce, XANN. I don't know. So Ayomiku, Ayomipo, I can see you. Okay. Okay. Ayomide Ahmed, Victoria, great. So let's go on now. So we thank God for this time again as we move to the next second class of our data analysis class. So this is the data. This is the data, and the same data. This data have salesperson and number of customers, net sales, profit and loss. So profit and loss. So when we have profit, that means it's positive. When you have negative, it's lost. So we again want to make use of X function to calculate some things here. So, and that will give us insight on what this data is talking about. So with the salesperson, we have Joseph, we have John, we have Jose, we have Jamel, and we have you have this, we have Johnson, Jonathan. So these are the names of the salesperson we have. So from here, you can eventually see that what this data is talking about: sales. So I don't know, maybe you have worked with companies that deal with sales, and each of the sales representative, each of the marketers, or what is you call it, we're having numbers of customers, and they have sales, net sales of this. We try to make use of just small numbers of sales. Just focus on the procedures, and you will get everything. Okay. Now we have salespersons, and these are the numbers we have, and these are the responsible, the customers they have, that they are responsible to. So that means that these are the customers they've been able to bring to the company, and this is the sales they've made, and this is the profit they generated. So as a company, we want to look at, out of these people, which of them can we say is performing well, high performer, which one is just regular. So when you have this data set is small, and we can quickly look at it. So sometimes company can have like thousands of roles. Okay, so we want to look at, out of these salespersons, which one is performing, what has performed very well based on their sales. Okay, based on their sales, how can we rate them? Let me put it that way. How can we rate them? So we want to use performance to raise them. Okay,
Sir,
to
I
raise
think
them.
your screen has stopped showing. It's not sharing again.
Wow, great. Let me just show that. Okay, sorry. What about now, please?
Yes,
Can
yes,
we
yes.
see the screen now?
I
Okay,
can see
great.
it now.
Okay, can we go on? Okay, let me check. Seems that we have some questions. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Femi. Okay, let's go on. Can we all see the screen now? If you can see, please pop up, please. Can I just, okay, great. So let's go on. So we want to rate this sales rep using our F function. We want to use sales, want to rate them using this F function. So what we do is, the first thing you need to do is to find out what is the range of the sales they have. Okay, what is the range of the sales? So the first thing is to look for the range of the sales you have. So then we'll make use of range function. So don't forget, I said before you start any function, you start with equals to, then you put your rate average. So average is what you make use of. Let's check what is the average of the sales. So the average of the sales is 1,599. So we are going to set up the performance of these personnels, salespersons, with the average. So now, as a company, anyone that is below the average, did not perform very well. So anyone that is above the average performed very well. So how do we do that? So we start with our function F. Now you start with equals to, then you start with your F, if. So if function, if you go to where the sales is, click the sales. If this is less than what? Is less than the average. If this is less than the average, if it's less than the average, that means what? Put comma. What do you want to use? That means it's regular. It's regular. Are you with me? So regular. But if false, that means that if is greater than the average. So if it's greater than the average, that is the next command we are going to put here. So the first is, if the sales of the D4 is less than the average, which is D for 17, call it regular. That means that the person performed average. Okay, let me go back again to explain, because it seems some of us will have to get it. This data is the sales rep information of a particular organization, and we are having these people as employed sales representative of the organization, in which they are asked to bring customers to the company, marketers, as what people will call them. So that means that for all these persons, these are the numbers of customers they have been able to bring to the company. So, and in net sales, so they have been able to make these net sales respectively. So, and the profit, according to what the sales they've made, these are the profit they've been able to generate by the customer they've been able to drag to the company. So now, as a company, we want to look at, out of this sales rep, which of them performed higher, which of them performed average, which of them just performed low. So which of them did not perform very well. We want to rate them. So the best way to do that is to use our if function. So this is, so when we start that, I said the first thing we need to look at is the average sales, the average sales of the net sale. So when we make use of the average, so we are able to find out of this net sales the salesperson have made. This we have to look at what is the average sales they've been able to generate. So we make use of the average. So we pick D4 to D16, where Joseph, which was the first salesperson, and the Jonu, which was the last salesperson. So we click yes, enter. So we've been able to discover that the average sales of the overall sales people is 101,599. So we now want to use this average to make a judgment to their performance. So what in a company they call it a performance appraiser. So maybe at the end of the year, we want to look at the sales each of them have made consolidated and been able to rate their performance. So we want to rate their sales performance. That's what we say. So we want to rate it. So we make use of the if function. Sorry. So the first thing we want to do is to use your equals to. So your equals to, we make it of if. So the if, you put a bracket. So it's asking you what is the logical statement. So in logical statement, it's trying to tell us that what do you want to consider. So we want to consider that if sales is less than the average sales, if sales is less than the average sales. So because we are going to be making use of this average sales, we are going to make use of this average sales. So what we do is to close it. So how do we close it? When you enlight it, then you press your shift function F4. We close it. So if your sales is less than, so that's the condition we want to use here. That if your sales is less than, okay. Sorry, who's saying you cannot see my screen? All right, can I just show that? Ew, don't start to. Hello, can I just let me share my screen again? Okay, but my screen is showing. Who cannot see my screen, please?
We can see your screen.
You
Please,
can see your screen, sir.
we can see
Okay,
your
so
screen.
some people are
Kindly
saying they
log out
can't see.
and join again.
Make it bigger.
The screen is clear.
Make it bigger.
The screen is big enough. I told you the settings yesterday, what you need to do. Focus on content. Follow the steps I showed you yesterday. The 3 dots on your control, the 3 vertical dots where you have your option. Make it full screen. Click from the option there, make it full screen. Then go to change layouts and spotlight it. Then you can even increase it from there. So from your own screen. So it has nothing to do with the presenter screen. Thank you.
Follow the instruction. That is the best way, Mr. George. So that you can see, go with that.
I've done it already.
All right. So are you fine now? So great. Now let's continue. Okay, let's continue. We said you want to look at the condition. The logical state is that when you want to make sure that if the net sales is less than the average sales So if it's less than the average sales, what do we want to say? That means that is a low performance. So the person didn't perform very well. So we can put it as low performer. Let's do that. You just say low. So when you are writing a word, when you are using a function, don't forget what you put there. After the comma, you put this, the low performer. Low performer. So then that is if the sales is less than the average. Use low performer. So if it's false, that means if it's not, what we use, we put high performer. So that is the statement we want to use. High performer. High performer. So this statement means that when you click enter, the function is to pick that the sales, if the sales is less than the average sales, then the what you will see there would be low performer. If it's higher than the average sales, that means it will tell you high performer. So there is a function that as a good data analyst you need to be writing when you are using your function is the if function, if error function. Sometimes the data you have might not be able to pick the command, but it's not really good for you to be seeing errors like value, hashtag, error, NA, no answer. So for you to have a clean data sheet, a clean template, so you make use of if error. That means that if what you have written did not conform with what you want to do, it won't show you error. But what we just show you is if error. I would like using if error, I put comma, I put this dash dash. That means don't show me anything. So the if error is for you to control your functions. So after writing the main function, you just put it there. You can say, okay, put 0 for me. You can say, I don't like seeing anything. So I will say if error, then put nothing. That means don't put anything. So let's click enter. When I click enter now, you see what this is showing me is what? Low performer. Now, when you look at the value itself, 1,592 is eventually less than the average net sales, which is 1,599. So what is telling us here is that Mr. Joseph, which is one of the sales rep, did not perform very well. So when we want to do a appraiser, what's called performance appraiser, we have to put it there that say throughout the whole year, your average net sales was less than the average net sales of all the people. So how do you do that? So for others, you can just drag down. That's the sweet thing about this. When you drag down, you see that we have Joseph to be low performer. We have John to be low performer. We have Josh is high performer. So we have Jamie to be high performer. We have this to be high performer. We have Johnson to be low performer. So from here, we have seen out of our sales rep, which one is performed very well, and which one did not perform very well. So eventually from here, you can make use of what we did yesterday to find out how many sales rep do you have that perform well. So let's just do that. Let's quickly do that and see that how many of these sales rep perform very well. So let's pick this one. Okay, we have low performer and we have high performer. So we want to know how many do we have perform very well. So we can just find a way to so what we are going to make use of this is what we said yesterday, which is our count if. Okay, so we want to know how many low performer do we have out of our sales rep. So how many sales rep do we have here? We have just this. We have 13 sales rep. So out of these, we want to find out how many low performer do we have. So you can make use of your count if. make use of a count if and pick the range. This is the range, and normal put your criteria. So don't forget what we used to do. We close this. Okay, so we have 6 and we have this to be 7. So eventually we have out of our 7. So you can sum it. When you sum it up, so this is 13. So from here, we can see that from all our sales rep, 6 of our sales rep perform low, below the average sales. And 7 of our sales rep perform higher than the average sales. So with this F function, we can eventually check the performance rate of the sales per our representative. And also let's look at if that is clear. Can I see your, can you pump up so we can move to the next one? All right, thank you. So let's move on to the next one. So after that, we can also check our PL is P&L. That means the profit and loss performance. So out of this our sales rep, yes, we have seen that some performed very well and some performed low, but in terms of sales. And we also want to check some people can perform well, and at the end of the day, we have they want to know which of these did the profits brought a very good profit to the organization. But because it's not just about making a sales, it's about making a profit. Okay, now as I said the other time, we need to look at the average profit made by each of these rep. We make use of the normal, our average function. When you pick the average function, then you pick this. You pick this. So eventually you can see that consolidated profit of this 7 representative is 614. So the profit made, the average profit is 614. So we want to look at also the same command we have written. So lost, average performance, average loss, higher profit, low profit. So we want to look at it. So that means that anyone that made less than 614 is a loss to us. So let's write that command and say, now we make use of the if function. So that means that if you put your bracket, so don't forget the first thing you need to put there is the logical state test. So what's the logical test? That if the profit is less than, if the profit is less than the average profit, that means that is a loss to us. So if it's less than the average profit, that means it's a loss. That's what we want to have here. So let's close this to your function F14. So the statement says if E4, which is the profit for Joseph, is less than the average profit, that means that is a loss to us. Okay, so what we put there is lost. Let's just say yes, let's say loss, please, not lost, loss. You say it's loss. Okay, but if it's not true, that means it's a profit. So that means it's a profit. So if the profit is less than the average profit, is a loss. But if it's not true, we term it as profit. So we put profit, just a statement. So it depends on the logical statement you want to establish. Somebody can say no. If it's less than, let's put it low profit. But if it is greater, if it's not true, let's put higher profit. So it depends on the management decision or the appraiser manager decision. So every company have the way of writing it. So what your logical test is will determine what you're going, the statement you want to put. So for us, we said that if the profit is less than the average profit of the whole representative of the whole sales person, that means we are counting it as loss. But if it's greater than it, that means it's not less than, then we count that as profit. So if you have done that, you just click equals to, plug your enter. So what is telling us here, this is a loss, so we can just drag it down. Why we drag this down? Because already we have closed this, the average profit. If you don't close it, when you drag it down, it will go to the next line, which is 18. So, but because we drag it down, it remains on E17. When you drag it down without not enclosing that, you move to E18. So because the value we are picking, which is the average profit, is the one we want to use to test every other profit. So that is why we close that. Okay, and I said when you are writing a function and you want to make use of text, you have to close it. You have to put it there. You put this there, make it close. Don't just write it without another. So when you click enter, you have your lost. So we can drag this down, as I said earlier, and you can see. So what can we see? That there are some, in spite of the fact that they are high performer, they still made a loss. For Jackie, in spite of the fact it made higher performance, but eventually all the sales was a loss to us. And who else? Just only that. For others, we have this. Joseph, low performer, loss. For John, low performer, loss. For Josh, high performer, profit. For Jamie, high performer, profit. For Jackie, high performer, lost. For Johnson, high performer, loss. For Jonathan, high performer, loss. For this person, we have this. So from there, we can say if the company wants to sack, sorry, some people don't like to hear that, sack. If company want to sack, these are the reasons they have to establish first. So from here, they can say, okay, let's sack Joseph, let's sack John for the whole year, low performer, and we are paying salary, all the things he brought to company, it was a loss. They can say, okay, for this one, oh, eventually he performed well, can we just give him a trial again? For Johnson and Jonathan, let's sack the person and get another person, please. For Jesse, let's sack this person and get another person. So for this person, which there is, so the question is this: when you look at this data set, you cannot judge by the number of customers you are able to bring to the company. If you look at this person, this is 7, and this is 7. So these 7 have high performance and profit, but these 7 have high performance, but what? But a loss. So That is why some people working in the bank will say, I was able to bring 100 customers and they sack me. It is because the management was able to check your sales and the profit of the company using a function like this. And we're able to reach a conclusion and say, oh, bro, your performance was low and eventually it was a loss to us. You might be surprised, what about you, Tunde? We brought the same numbers of customers, but not the same numbers of sales and not the same number of profits. So by this way, this function, we put a very light to a very strong decision. You cannot just look at data and make. So you eventually, somebody will tell me before we start that Johnson is having already 10 customers. We don't need to sack the person. So, but look at the end of the day, what happened. And in spite of the fact that Johnson brought in 10 customers, look at the net sales, 1,540. Look at the profit, 570. And the 570, it was below the profit. The overall profit, 1,540 was below the average sales, in spite of the fact that it brought 10 customers. So that is that for each function. So if you are good with that, can I see your pump up? So I don't know. Can we open up for people to ask few questions before we go to the next one? Because if they don't get this, to go to the next one, there might be issue with the if and hand. So please, I'm asking, can I just have it open for them to ask? Because I'm seeing thumb down. Someone is raising their hands or pressures and all that. Just to ask so that we will move to the next one.
Okay, I can see Emmanuel Blessing, hands up, Idahota Precious, and Tobe. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Okay, you can
Hello,
ask
sir.
a
Can you
question.
hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry to bring us back a bit. Like that yesterday's one, it was not really clear, but this one is a bit clear, sha. But I could have loved to, like, when you are bringing the formulas, actually there was no time for me to write. So if the formula can be given, because that yesterday one was not actually clear to me, but this today's one was a bit better. But the formulas, I'm unable to get it. Like the 17 that is there, I don't actually get that one. How the 17 come up? Hello?
Okay, all right. Tope. Hello, Tope. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I will do that again, but this lecture notes with the formula and what we have done, for you to be able to use that for your assignment, I will make sure that it's
Okay.
sent to you.
Okay. All right, no problem. Thank you, sir.
Any other person, please? We have Emmanuel. Can you just, Emmanuel, please, can you talk? Emmanuel Blessing, are you ready? Emmanuel Blessing, you are raising your hand up. Is that a mistake? Okay. Can the next person can talk with Gene Caro, right? I don't know. Gene Kano. Williams, can we just hear you?
Good evening,
Williams, you
sir.
are raising your hand. You okay?
Good evening, sir.
We are here with you. Good evening.
All right, sir. My own is just that the commands, the statements that you're using is not clear to me. It's just the statements that are not clear.
Okay. Let's take that again.
All right, sir.
Let's just take that again, and let's go one after the other, please. Thank you. Let's go again. So I hope you can all see my screen. All right. I will do something now. Okay. All right. Can we just take one more question so that we'll just go? Any other person want to ask a question? Okay. Ofian, can you just talk, please? You can talk now, Ofian. Ofian, can you talk?
Are you hearing me?
Can you increase the volume, please?
Okay.
I can now. Okay.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Please, I have the same problem as Stockman. I forgot, I couldn't get hold of the formula. So I wasn't able to go through with the assignment because of the formula. So please, I'd also appreciate if you do same to me too.
So we are doing for all. We're going to share that to everyone.
All right, thank you.
I will share the data and okay, share the notes. Okay,
Right,
so let's go again. Let's go again. So let's go again. Okay. So what we said in this first place is this. Somebody said he doesn't understand what we are picking. We are making use of F function. Let me remove this. We make use of F function. So the F function is going to tell us out of this sales rep. I've explained this data set before. That we have sales rep, we have the numbers of customers, we have the net sales, and we have the profit. So we want to find out of this sales rep, which one is low performer, which one is high performer. So we want to consider their sales performance. So we use this as the way to check, appraise their performance. So that is what we're doing this. So the command is not that difficult. Now, we said earlier, let me just remove everything. So we just do that. Before we do this, these are the respective sales reps' net sales. Before you can judge, the first thing we need to do is to check what is the average net sales of everyone in the organization, every sales rep. And we make use of the average. This is the function, average. Then we pick the range, D4 to D16. So we use average and we're able to discover that the average net sales of all the sales rep is 1,599. 1,599. So with this, we want to establish which of these sales rep performed very well. That's the sales performance. Yes, some will say because I have 8 customers, some of them have 9 customers, some have 7, some have 9, some have 6, some have 10. Mere looking at this, you will not be able to discover which of these sales rep really performed very well. So we need to check one after the other. So making use of the F function will give us a clear picture of their sales performance. So the first thing is use your equals to. For every function you are writing in Excel, you start with equals to. That's the first step. We are making use of if. So to know the function you want to, so we have three ifs here. We have if error, if no answer, and if. The if is to check a conditional if condition is met, and they will to return the value if true, or another value if false. Okay. Now, what is our logical test? Our logical test is what you want to, let me put it this way, what you want to compare. Is like what you want to check, this one is bigger than this. If this one is bigger than this, put this. If this one is bigger than this, don't put this. Okay, it's like when you get to a place you want to share a cloth, and the cloth you have there is for only male. Eventually, when you take that cloth to the place, if they are female, you will not be able to give it to them on a normal condition. So what you have done there, you make use of if function. That means that if they are male, you give it to them. If they are female, you will not. So what you have done, that is a logical test. So here, what is the test? That if this sales, which is the D4, is less than, somebody can decide to say if it's greater than, okay, or if it's less than or equals to. So, but if you want to use less than or equals to, what is less than, you now put equals to. This is less than or equals to. But we are making use of less than. That means if this sales is less than the average net sales. So I picked 1,995.99, which is the average net sales. So this statement means that if the Joseph sales, yes, is less than the average net sales. So don't forget that we are going to make use of the average net sales for all of these sales rep. So we are going to close it. So you press your function F4. Your function F4 will put $sign to the respective places. Fine. After you have done this, you put your comma. So it's telling you that value if true. That means that if this statement, if this logical test is true, what do you want this guy to do? For us, we want him to tell us that if the sales, Joseph sales, is less than the average net sales, you should put low performer there. Low performer. So when you put your comma, it's telling you what about if the statement is false. That means that if the sales, Joseph sales, is not less than the average net sales, that eventually means that is higher. That means is higher. Therefore, you will put, we are going to want to put high performance. High performer. Now, this condition is not casted on the stone. It depends on the decision of the person doing the appraisal or the management decision. So we are the ones setting this rule. Somebody can say, no, I don't want to put this. I'm not sacking them. So I'll just put try again later. I can just put regular. I can just put average. But for us, we want to put low performer. I want to put high performer. So you can decide to change your statement depending on what you want to arrive. Maybe by your management decision or the person actually making the appraisal. So when we have done this statement, I said there is a function in Excel called if error. If error means when you want your data set to not show you no answer with hashtag, no value with hashtag, value error with hashtag, that even if what you have written is not correct, you still want to have a clean data sheet. So you make use of if error. That means if the statement you have stated, you've put down is error, make use of if error. So after that, you go to the last one here. If you put the if error here, you put the bracket, then you put comma here, and you put this. I put that. So when you put this, it means it won't show you anything. But when you put 0, it means you show 0. I don't want him to show me anything. So I put this. So if I've done this, so the statement of the if function still remain the same. If error has nothing to do with what you have written, if error will just take care of, if it's not true, it will not show anything. So let's click equals to, enter. So when I click enter, it shows me low performer. So what it's saying now is that Mr. Joseph, which is one of our staff, as a sales rep, performed low. The net sales is low. Why is it low? Because it is less than the average net sales of the company. So many times you see sales reps used to have targets. They will tell them, you don't do below the average sales. So eventually everyone that do below the average sales did not perform very well. It's not about emotional statement. It's a very strict management decision statement. So since we have been able to do for Joseph and for D17, we are able to close that. We can drag it down. We can drag this down. So when you drag it down, it will eventually simplify for others. So then you see some that are high performer, and I said we have 13 sales rep here. So from here, we are able to discover that we have 6 low performer and we have 7 high performer. So it depends on the management decision. The management can say, okay, here we can also find a percentage of this and see, we did this yesterday, the percentage of what we have by the performance. So here, just drag this down. So what can we see? That 54% of our sales rep performed high and 46% of our sales rep performed low. A manager can say, we can't tolerate that, let's sack them. So with this, they can make their decision. And also, they might say, okay, we don't want to really make that decision based on the numbers of sales they've been able to generate by their customers. What about a loss? So we want to check the loss too and find a loss. So for this of their performance, are they be able to bring loss to us or profit? So the first thing is to look at what is the average consolidated loss or profit for this everyone. So we found out that this company, we've been able to have 614 as the average profit of the whole company, from the whole sale. So we are going to base our decision on 614. Everyone that have below this is a loss to us. That's why we have the statement. And everyone that have otherwise is a profit. That means it's higher than the average profit. So eventually you make use of this if function also. You can also put your if error. It doesn't stop that. So with this, when you click enter, is what this is telling us is for Mr. Joseph, by sales performance is low and the profit performance is loss. So you can also drag it down. When you drag it down, you can see for the one that have low performance, that lost, and the one that have, some people also like this, I said, for those that have, like Mr. Jack, have 10 customers, but the sales performance was high, but eventually the profit was low. So the company might give the person a trial. So what decision we cannot make eventually before now, by mere looking at the numbers of customers, we can do that after making use of the if function to check our sales performance and the profit and loss performance. So with if function, we can base our decision on facts and figures. So that is what we explained initially. So I hope we are good with that. If you are good, can I see your thumb up? Okay, 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 great. All right, now let's move to the next class. After the if function, now we move to if plus and function. If plus and function. So in this if on R function, we can bring different conditions together. We can bring different conditions together. And when we are doing this, okay, let me just stop this first. Sorry. So, okay, before now, I would just want to do something. I would like to just drop a question. And when I drop the question, I want somebody to answer. Please, I will just don't talk. The first person to write the answer on the comment section. So it's going to be the question from what we have done on the if function. So let's go back there. I would like to share my screen again. So before that, let me just drop the data sets for us now. So I don't know whether we can, if you have your system, you can make use of that. Let me just drop the data set now as I ask my question. Okay, or we can just look at it from your side and just tell me what the answer is. Okay, you can just look from the side and tell me what the answer is. So just to keep us going forward. Okay, now, okay, let me change this. Let me add value to this. Let me add value to this. So now, assume you have another sales rep, which is Henry, and this is this, and this is this. Okay, no. And this is this. Okay, no, I will change it. I will change it. Okay. So with this, we have now our average. Our average net sales is 1734. And now our average profit is 660. Can somebody just tell us, just you can do it from your side, what is the sales performance for Henry and what's the PL profit for, well, for the profit and loss performance for Henry? You can drop the mess at the drop your answer on the comment section. Just 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
And pro.
We are not much seeing your screen. Oh. We are not much seeing your screen.
Can you see it now? Your answer good. Another person. Okay. Nathan. Okay. Just 2% here. I want to have 5 answers before we go for. Five answers, please. I want 5 persons, please. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, great. Okay. Someone said, okay, Nathan said, high performer but loss. Effiong said, high performer profits. Campbell said, high performer profits. Victory, high performance profit. And Emmanuel, high performer but loss. Okay, now let's do it together and see what we have. Okay, now let's look at that. So we just drag it, I will just drag it down. So it's high performance and profit. So if you get the answer, you can pump up for yourself. Can you pump up for yourself? Can you pump for yourself? Pump for yourself, clap for yourself, you get the answer. Even if you didn't write it down or in the comment section, if you get the answer, just clap for yourself. Great one. So let's move on to the next one, which is if and and function. So in this if and and function, we are going to make use of this together, if and function. So in this, we want to check if the profit is high and customer are above 8. So we want to check 2 conditions here. So in this way, we want to check if 2 conditions really match. That the first thing is, if we want to consider if the customer is higher than 6.8 and if it's also higher than the profit. What do I mean by that? So when a sales rep resume an office, the first thing they will tell you is you are going to bring so customers to the company. Okay, and that customers should be able to give us something. They will give the condition. So we want to put 2 conditions together. So when you want to make use of 2 conditions to find out the status of these people, this sales rep, you make use of half, if and. So this is performance. Okay, this is the performance. Okay, let me just do this. Let me expand this. Okay, great. This is the performance. So we want to check that if the profit is high, you can check the profit, you can check the sales. So if the sales is high and the number is less than or greater than a particular number of customer, it should tell us that it is low. So the first thing we need to check is this. Don't forget the average. What is the average number of customer that these people have? So the average number of customer is 8. And the average number of our sales is 1,599. And don't forget the average loss is 614. So we want to check the condition now. Okay, what we'll have to do is to start with if function. If, that means that if, don't forget I'm making use of if and you are making use of and, because you are not just making use of if function. So what is the function? We want to consider the customers and want to consider the sales. So what we are looking at, if this customer is less than, if the number of customer is less than the average number of customer, and if the sales is less than
Good evening, sir.
the average sales. I don't know whether we get that. If the numbers of customer, which is average the number of customer is less than the average number of customer, and also if the sales is less than the average net sales, then you close it. So two conditions together. So what are you going to say? If this is true, so you say low performer. So if you want to consider low performer, but if it's not true, that means if it's greater than, all greater than, you want to make use of high performer. So if it's not true, it's high performer. So this statement is correct. So I said earlier that you can make use of your if function, if error. Your if error, just if the statement is not correct, to remove will not show you anything. So what is the analysis? What is the insight for this command? That means that this if and we consider the number of customers, that if it's less than the average numbers of customer, and also the sales is less than the average sales, it will tell us that the sales rep perform low. If it is otherwise, it will tell us it's high. So let's click yes. So what's this showing us now? That it is low. What? How? Why? Because this 8 is not less than actually. So what we have to do is, what we do now is 8 is not less than 8. So we put less than or equals to. So let's put equals to. Why putting equals to? Because we have 8 and 8 here. So click yes. So it is lower performance. So why I use equals to is because 8 is equals to 8. So 8 is not less than 8. So now let's drag this down and see. So here we find out that, let's look at how many low performance do we have. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. How many low customers, how many low performance do we have? So how do we do that? You make use of count if. You make use of a count if. So here we have count if. So count if of which range? This range and this. So just let's close this and just drag it down. So we have 13. Now, what can we say here? That considering the numbers of customers and considering the net sales as a condition, 5 of our sales rep perform below the average customer is supposed to bring and the average net sales, and 8 of them perform higher than the numbers of customers they're supposed to bring, and also perform higher than the net sales. So from here, it's only 5 we can decide, say we're going to sack based on this condition. So with if and we can consider 2 conditions and use if function to bring a consolidated solution to this. So that is that for if and. So I would like us to, if you are good with that, can I see your thumb up? If any question you can ask.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question. Sir.
You may go ahead with your question, please.
Please go ahead with your please.
Was this spreadsheet sent in the email?
So this spreadsheet, I promise, we're going to send it to you after the class. The if function and if and function for you to practicalize it, and I will send my assignment. That will be tomorrow. I will give it now tomorrow to be familiarized with that. Tomorrow morning we'll send in our assignment. Yes, I will send my assignment tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
So any other question? Can ask your question for clarity. So, do you still need that? Do you still have a question?
Yes, sir. I have a question. Good evening, sir.
Okay, can you just go on?
All right, sir. So
Yeah, I'm not, sir. Okay, from this average,
we can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yes. Okay. Hello. Okay. I'm lost in this area.
Please, we can't hear you. Tokman, we can't hear you.
I don't know how it.
Tokman, we can't hear you.
Hello, sir.
Okay. You can go on, please. You can go on.
good evening, sir.
Okay, good evening.
Yes, sir. Now, my question, please, is with regards to this count if. I do find it confusing because even today, while trying to work on the assignment you gave us, at that point I got stuck because I didn't really get the how will I put it? The I don't know how to put the word, but then
Okay,
at that point
that's
it got so
Akiloye, right?
confusing. Yes, sir.
Okay, Akiloye, I discovered that that's where you stopped actually. Yes, so the count if is when you write your count if the question is asking you, let me just use this way. You are living in 3-bedroom flats and you are looking for your phone. So when you are looking for your phone and maybe the last place or where you think you can find it is in your room. Hello. So in your room. So you are looking for your phone. So when you use count if, there are so many things in that room, but what you are looking for is your phone. So when you write count if, that means you wanted to find out something. If that means you are looking for a particular condition, particular thing, your phone. So the first thing you ask you is, where are you looking at it from? You say your room. That's the meaning. Your room. Then comma. Then what are you looking for? Your phone. So when we are having a number and you want to look at a particular number from that line, so you input your count if. Let me do that again. Okay. When you do your count if, The first thing the country will ask you is what do you want to do? Now look at this. Let me just go this. This is my count if. This is my count if. He's asking where is the range? That means where do I want to find? Can you, I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. So your range, that means I'm looking for my phone, but I'm not going to go to the kitchen. I don't want to go to bedroom. It's my room. I know I'm going to get it in my room. That is the range. That means you want to count, you want to search for it in a particular place. So that is the range. So I want to search for a particular thing on this is the place I want to find it. So I'll pick that first. That is my range. That is the room. Then criteria means what are you looking for? What am I looking for? I'm searching for what? Low performance. I'm searching for my phone. Then I close it. When I close it, I click enter. You tell me 5. So that means that it counted, that counting will count low performance on this row, and you find out it is 5. Now count it, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they will tell you that Excel does not lie, except the command you've written is not correct. That is why it's reliable. Companies believe that they are very well, because if you use a calculator, you can press 2, whereas what you want to press is 3. So that is it. The thing is that when you do that many times, you will get it right. When you don't get it, try it again, write it out, try it again, write it out, you will get it. So, and also that is why I said I'm going to stop at this F and function, so that I will send if function and F and function. So in the next class, we are going to be looking at F and O function, VLOOKUP and index and match. If I start the next 3, I'm very sure without practice, you might forget the other 2. So I don't want us to forget the other 2. So we'll send it today. Go through it tonight. Tomorrow morning, we'll send you your assignment. So if you have any other question, you can send it back through a message, through your email. We'll get through that. Any other question, please, so we can solve that.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. But still, I still have one question. But I don't know if the question is going to be directed to you or to the organizers. First of all, I want to know if we can actually have the recording for the class, so that it can be something we can actually go back to at some point when we are stopped.
Okay, we'll get answer from the management.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. So if you all enjoy the class, you have your comment, please can you put it up as we get set for the next class. We'll send in the necessary things. Blessing, can you do that? Please ask your question.
Please, I joined in late because I saw the reminder late. It came to my phone late. So I want to ask a question. How did you get the total net sales and the total profit? Just that. That's just my question.
You use the total. It's not a total. It is average.
Average.
So it is average net sales. Average, yes. We are not making use of total. Okay. We are checking performance. So when you are checking performance, you make use of the average. It's like when you have pupils in the class, you rate them by the average mark.
Can you click on it so I can see the function you use?
Average. Okay, let me click on that. This is it. Average. Just the word average. So you know, average also means means. That's the central tendency. There, okay. Okay. Great. So, but we are making use of the word mean, not mean, but average. So Excel does not understand mean, but Excel understand average. So it makes of average. So you can see that average, yes. So average net sales, average profit, average number of customers. Is that clear, Blessing?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Crystal clear. Crystal clear. Thank you, sir.
Great. Beatrice, your question, please.
Yes.
Okay.
My question. Good evening, sir. My question is actually directed to the organizers. for management. During the application, so we were asked to select two courses. That's minimum. But in one of the emails, I think there was a statement that people like this data analysis, like everyone is open to it. So I want to know if it applies to other courses as we move on, and if that doesn't affect the initial choices that were made. I don't know if my question is clear.
Okay, the management will get that when we want to round up. So, Blessing, Beatrice will get your answer. Thank you. Blessing, any other question?
Yeah, I have a last question, sir, please. It's regarding that assignment you give to us. You asked us
Okay.
to to clean the data.
Yeah.
Um, I would like put it now. After picking the marital status, I was stuck at the other four
I find
missing
that is
numbers.
Blessing of Sareri, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
You didn't complete it, not completed.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know what to do from there because I didn't want to use the original file to complete it because I was put in a situation. What if we don't have
So what will happen
it was
is
just
I'm
like
sending in,
raw data.
we are going to be sending in your correction and this class together, so you can the people, for those that didn't get it right, you can quickly make your correction. So the best thing about it is, please don't wait. If you wait, you keep on compiling your work. Yeah, don't wait, just start doing it, because we are still having many classes to go. If you keep on keeping your work and you don't do it, you might not understand the next class. So if you don't get this class, please try, so that the next class will be easy, because it's going to be a continuous class. Please. Thank you.
All right.
So we'll send in the
Okay, sir.
correction, and we'll send in this one for you to prepare for your assignment. Nathan, your question, please.
All right. All right, sir. I just want to see the functions you use for this performance. My phone kept the network issue when you were doing this. So I just want
The
to see
function, are you with us in the class
the
before
functions for
now?
it.
Are you talking about F
Yes, yes.
function or if and function?
This F, this if and this if
Which
plus and
one?
function. This one.
Okay, you
If
want to see,
if and function.
okay, this is
Yeah.
it. Can you see it now?
Okay.
So
Yes,
we
sir.
make use of if and the two conditions are mixed together with the brackets with and the statement.
Okay, sir.
Do you get that now?
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. So we'll send it to you. The management will send, we'll make sure that
I
everything you need to do.
I have a question. I have
Who
a
is that?
question.
Wilson.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Wilson.
Somebody is there a way that I can use my system and use Excel at once as we are watching the class?
Yes, you can just minimize your meeting and open your Excel, minimize it, and share that into two on your screen.
You said,
You minimize
sorry,
your meeting.
I'll minimize my hello. Ah, minimize. Okay, okay, yes, yes, yes. I get you. Thank you. Okay, okay. Thank you. Sorry, I got it.
Hello, sorry everyone, my network and so sorry, my network. So thank you everyone. So we're gonna send everything you need and the correction to the yesterday assignment and the material for you to check and look at how you can also do your assignment. The assignment will send to you tomorrow morning. So the material used for this, the F function and F and AND function will be sent to you. Please practicalize it and do as much as possible what you can do with it. And if you have another data set also, you can practicalize and do more. So the best thing about it is when you do more, you will know more. When you do more, you will know more. Thank you so much for this class. And let's get for the next tomorrow, the next week class and your assignment. Thank you so much. If you have any question, you can reach out. So we'll work it together. So we are in it together as you grow better in your data analysis journey. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, our facilitator, for today's class. I can see in the chat box that a lot of people are getting value for their time. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you, everyone, for attending today's session. Thank you for coming on time. Please, let's make it as early as this on Saturday next week. We'll be waiting. It's the same link we are going to use all through the class. Please, the same link, same time. Please always check your mails from time to time for information, because there's no group for now. If there will be group, we'll let you know. But for now, we'll be sharing information via email. So please, let's keep checking our mails for information. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Please excuse me, I have a question.
Okay, let's hear it.
How will we know how well we did in the assignments that was sent? Do we have a
Okay, so
review or something?
probably you did not attend the pre-class. There was a class, there was a session where the facilitator treated all the corrections, and he just mentioned that